All right, everybody, welcome to Confidential Cinema, and this is going to be the very first episode of a potential name that I have for the show that I'm not going to say yet because it's one of those names where I need permission to use it, but also I would kind of want to build the credibility of the show before I even consider doing it because it's a pretty cool name. So with that being said, I'm Henry Confidential, and today I am brought with a familiar face for anybody in the fan community, but not necessarily for the Schmodown community. It is one half members of Big Picture, which...
Okay, I feel good. This is a fun match. I think this is going to be like my first official reaction, so we'll see how we go. Two great teams. I'm looking forward to it.
There you go. So what we're going to do with this show is we're going to make it short, concise, and simple. We are going to do our reactions first, and it's just going to be a highlight show. So we're just going to highlight all the answers that we do because we're going to play along with the whiteboards in round 1, and we're going to kind of play along in rounds 2 and 3, and then we're going to react to anything that happens within, whether it's entrances, whether it's crazy stuff, challenges, whether it's interviews. Anything that's reactionary worthy, that's what we're going to highlight because honestly, when you guys are watching reactions, that's the type of stuff you guys want to see. And then on the second half of the show, or I don't know exactly time-wise what it's going to be, the last 10 minutes, the last 15 minutes, because the goal is to be around 30 minutes. So last 10 to 15, maybe even 20 minutes, depending on how long the reaction is. We're going to analyze the match beat by beat, similar to, like sports. We're going to talk about some questions, impressive answers, some unimpressive misses, or some controversial calls throughout the match, all that type of stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And as always, this is going to be the team match, so it's on the Patreon. So not only watch the match itself when it drops, whether you're on the Patreon, which you should be a Patreon to the Schmodown, or watch it on Thursday when it's ready for everybody. So either way, make sure you watch the entire match before you check us out because, like I said, this is just a highlight show. So with that being said, we're going to start reacting and then have fun watching the highlights. Hey. All right, got the blue.
Yeah. In the thumbnail, I literally couldn't tell. I was like, did they mess up and have two Whitneys? Because John and Whitney are exactly the same.
They do. This is the new studio, by the way. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it being called the Movie Trivia Schmodown instead of the Schmo's Nose?
The channel?
Yeah.
It was interesting because I saw like a video pop up and like why Prometheus was great. And it was like under the Movie Trivia Schmodown.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that yesterday too. I was like, what? What are we doing? This is going to be awesome because it's a combination of the old teams and the Anarchy tournament.
Yeah.
Which in theory, the Harris brothers probably would have been together anyway because they're brothers, but
yeah.
It's going to be a great match regardless.
Well, it's sort of like the second version of the Anarchy team at that because it was JTE and
yeah, I know,
then
right?
John replaced JTE, so it was like...
I'm definitely curious to see the, entrances and how interesting and elaborate they're going to be.
Yeah.
And now they have a shot to get to the title match.
I wonder who is the favorite. I think it would be
it's pretty Acclaimed, yeah. Because it's
they have the KOs. Yeah.
And I think it's just fair because Harris Brothers technically had one win with JT, so
yeah, so that 2-1.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they might be able to keep their 3-1 record. Maybe I don't know, but
yeah,
as a team together, they have one less win in theory.
Yeah.
He was bummed about Anarchy. They were on a victory road there.
I didn't notice that.
What? Bibiani elaborating and not liking things? What? I didn't get picked for entrances and helping people like I offered.
And they didn't get to play with each other. This is the first time they played together in months. They had a big break the year before that. So they are ready to make an impact. But if the Harris brothers have anything to say with it, they'll be the ones. But they had a lot to say. There was a lot of smack talk. There was a lot of gibberish that I didn't understand. Here we go.
This is cool.
I'm ready to get smarter.
This is cool. Look at this.
Whitney and I, critically acclaimed, 3 wins, 3 knockouts. Look, the Lords of Chaos
Wow.
took over at
douche.
us and made sure that our combined powers.
I like this music.
Blast a hole through everything.
It gives a bit of an energy instead of people just like just talking into like the abyss.
Yep. And it's like cut together like a...
Edited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. This is the type of stuff we'd be reacting to, so this is perfect. Taking notes.
Brothers are back to reclaim our title, but the Harris brothers...
This is how you combine what everyone complains about. The stuff at the beginning, the recap, but you're combining it into the promo, so you're getting 2 for 1.
Yeah,
so it's less time, and you're actually getting everything you want. So this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Please take the cannoli. We took out that team.
This is one of those ideas, better late than never. You deal with all the complaining, but you figure out, and now you're like, wow, how did we never think of this before? But this is amazing.
Face to face, to face, to face. Knowledge against...
Yeah, I could definitely get used to this.
Yes.
These are film critics. Journalism is dead.
Who's the editor?
Academia is where they should be.
I know RB3 is one of the editors.
I think it's Aaron Wilhelm.
Oh,
Like, I think he was the editor last year.
I know there's a bunch of editors who do stuff together, so yeah. I know Aaron definitely cuts together this stuff
The
usually.
matches. Yeah. Although I think Cobster usually does like the promos.
Yeah, so
I don't know if he...
shout out to whoever the editors are. If when we post this on the Schmodown page, if you happen to see this reaction, comment below if you're one of the editors. Fantastic job. Definitely credit due where credit's deserved.
It seems to be like the song is Cool Blast.
Now I'm definitely curious if they would like mix up the songs for the type of matches. If it's like more intense match.
You see what I was talking about?
I did like that.
Look at that. We're 5 minutes in, and we already knocked out the promos and the recap. This is beautiful.
This is a smack talk. This is the #1 contender.
And that's not a complaint by any means of like before error judgment. This is just a legit that's just great editing.
Yeah.
Shout out to McWeenie and Riley coming up Friday.
Although, like, we were sort of gushing over the actual promo, we kind of missed what they were saying.
This is
so I
true.
feel bad about that. But I mean, it's the first time. It's to be expected.
Exactly. That's
But
what
this
you show. You react to whatever you need to react. Oh yeah, notable accomplishments. That's what it's called, right?
They are.
Yeah.
They have the former
Another
movie
thing we
trivia
need to bring
Schmodown
up.
champion on the team, the Harris brothers.
Former champ, 3 wins, 3 knockouts.
We can come back and like actually beat by beat take notes and look at the video again at the end if we want to talk about it. I'm just writing down the titles of the stuff so we can go back and actually analyze it.
Yeah.
With that, Mark, I'm ready to get going. How about you? I am prepared.
Look at this. 6 minutes into the match and we're about to do intros. What is this, multiplex?
Yes.
Hell yeah. Trivia Schmodown. How does Ellis always say it? Let's get ready to Schmodown. Harris Brothers. Oh, really? What? That's interesting. Critically acclaimed is gonna be. I assumed it would be critically acclaimed higher rank.
Wow. Yeah, because they have the KOs to go along. Because they have the same record, I believe.
Like I said, the JT
they
aspect.
Don't, but they technically do. But yeah, quickly came to 3 knockouts. By the way,
I
this
love the song. It's awesome.
theme song is all time.
Oh, here we go.
Where did you send us? Movie Trivia Limbo Town?
This is what, 50s?
Oh, we gotta find the right door.
Is this Monsters Inc?
Hey, Dad!
Oh, it is. That's hilarious.
What in the hell?
That's awesome. Shout out. Late
Any
to the
other?
party. I didn't get a call, so I'm sad. This is #1 entrance of the year already. Creativity. Oh wow, movie fights.
What the? Well, of course. What's the best dance movie? I bet you that's specially requested by Bibbs.
That is hilarious.
I feel like there is that screen jump which on the other side of town going backwards. But
Yeah.
there we go.
That was awesome.
That's smart. That's really smart.
I mean, it's Viviani. What do you expect? Best coordinator of entrances. Somebody give him a call. He will help you with your entrances. You guys are white bread with your entrances. But then again, that also makes his even better when compared to everyone else's.
Yeah.
Harris brothers are definitely not bad at it. So
yeah.
New song? Yep, new song.
One defeat and one knockout. They are the 2018 Ultimate Showdown finalists.
This is like a classic.
Yeah.
The Harris Brothers.
Is that Jigsaw? Oh, is this a seventh seal?
I think so, yeah.
It's the seventh seal.
Chess.
The seventh seal. That is awesome. I thought it was the Saw robe, so he was like teasing them.
Just like the classic movie. Instead of
Nice.
There you go. Max on side out. Pretty good, John.
Snobs, they just remade a millennial version of the Seventh Seal. I call foul. That's not very snobby. That's very mainstream of you.
I think it's educators. It's about making these classic films resonate for a younger generation.
Then you show them Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
This is the most interesting smack talk I've ever seen.
I just wanted to wear this.
All right. Once again, highlight to our reactions. So we're gonna cut through this real quick.
You don't have to stop match. I've just watched this, to be honest.
Yeah, right. That's how you have smack talk. Snob smack talking. Elitist smack talking.
Yeah, snob talk.
Wow,
Oh,
Bibiani with the C minus. Just because it's not long doesn't mean it wasn't good.
Yeah. It was a good dichotomy of like one very elaborate one entrance.
And it's also a deep cut because, you know, who of all the Schmodown fans, who really would have caught Seventh Seal as fast as we did? Like, I thought it was Jigsaw at first, and then as soon as he came out, as soon as Jonathan came out, I was like, oh, Seventh Seal.
Yeah.
Who's going to catch that quick? Not many. So kudos to them for being pretty awesome with that intro. I think that's going to be an underrated one all year.
Yeah, because just a row board game.
Yeah.
What?
I definitely thought that chess game kind of looked like some winter green bubblegum.
Yeah.
With the green. I was like, what are we doing?
All
All right, once again, highlights to the trivia. You're just going to see us cut through these questions. So we're going to be racked them on time, but editing-wise, we're just going to cut through it. So
Unless we get 0 in case you go straight to round.
this is true. If we go to the next round, it's because we're embarrassed. But it's me and Michael, so we're going to at least get 2.
Questions in action adventure. Which The Walking Dead actor played government agent Harvey Russell in 2018's Rampage?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
I have Jeffrey Dean.
Sorry, Blonde.
It is Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yes, it is. Whitney.
There we go.
I wrote down Norman Reedus.
Okay.
Oof.
I wrote down what he likes to be called grimy.
That is not
I
grimy.
also had Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
So there you go, tie game.
There we go. Arguably the 2 better players on the team getting it right, so it's what you'd expect.
On Sundays, yeah.
In theory. Take a shot, Ellis.
Computer.
Yeah.
A domesticated macaw from small town Minnesota meets the fiercely independent Jewel. He takes off on an adventure with her in what film?
I don't know. I don't have it.
One pen's down.
Is it Rio?
Rio.
Yes, it is.
That makes a lot of sense.
Rio.
Yep, beast.
Rio.
Yep.
So he was trolling when he said long title.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I like what
I had nothing, by the way.
Bibiani tried to do there. I like that he pretended it was a long title and just did a lot of scribbling. I really enjoyed that.
I do. I like that. How many times in the fan leagues have you ever changed an answer because someone else is like writing a long title? Like, that doesn't seem what I'm writing.
Next question.
Throws you off mentally.
Who stars as former slave hunter turned Jesuit missionary in 1986's The Mission?
Harrison Ford.
Jeremy Irons. Is it Jeremy Irons or Robert De Niro?
Liam Neeson.
That's incorrect.
Robert De Niro?
That is correct.
Which one did you go?
And Whitney.
You and Irons?
I have Jeremy Irons.
Tie game there.
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't even know that movie.
No one wants to grab hold of the match just yet.
Damn it.
Gentlemen, your next question is in the world of 80s.
I guess Deer is the more famous of those two.
Yeah.
Especially round one.
Musical
Yeah.
contains the following quote. What professional rides a motorcycle and wears a black leather jacket? 1980s musical contains the following quote. What professional rides a motorcycle and wears a black leather jacket?
5,
I'm just gonna guess
You
a
ready?
sequel.
1.
I'm guessing Grease 2.
I said Grease 2.
No, it was not. Lon,
Ah.
that is correct.
It's gonna be fame.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
And
that makes
We
sense.
were on the same page for once. I guess Grease 2.
oh wow, so the Harris brothers. Yeah. Harris.
Wow,
Lead.
Please miss the
There
next
you
what a
go.
fucking bull.
All right, here we go. Next question. Fantasy / sci-fi.
I'm at 1. I'm struggling.
Which 1984 film starring Emilio Estevez and Harry Dean Stanton follows a bunch of wacky characters trying to find a Chevy Malibu with radioactive aliens
Ugh.
hidden in the trunk? Talk to
Is he
yourself.
about
It's Repo Man.
Down, Lon.
I said Short Circuit. I was like,
Most people
ah.
spend their lives trying to get out of insane situations, but the Repo Man spends his life trying to get
Correct.
Is it Repo Man or Repo Men?
people. I hate him. Repo
Man.
Got it.
Okay.
Jonathan.
I was gonna say because he said man.
Oh, and Beast.
Wow. Okay, but I did have Repo
Wow,
Man.
so critically acclaimed back to tie.
Tied it back up.
Can't. Is Bibbs using a blue marker? I can't see
I know.
the ball.
Here we go. Next
Definitely a rough visual, or it's out. One of the two.
Sorry, it's your
Christian,
question.
do the lap.
By the way, Bibiani's still standing,
Who directed
following that into this season.
So,
Yes, sir.
Amy Heckling.
I didn't have it.
Yep, Beast.
Amy Heckler.
This is not my day. Good thing we're gonna at least do the analysis, so we have some validity to the show. I'm off to a bad start playing wise.
Yeah, Lon's still perfect.
Oh really? We're gonna be watching Patreon anyway. The others.
We're probably yeah, the others.
I didn't
At least
know
I-
who directed
I needed
this
the
first, and then I
softball.
went, aha, the other.
That's right. And Beast.
The
It's the one who directed his name. First name's Aha.
Yeah, right.
The otters.
God, look at that. Just hold that up there for a second.
All right. Well, look,
So good.
Quotation marks and everything.
well, look at this.
By the way, Rachel Cushing, in my opinion, has the best damage.
Yeah.
She writes in all capitals. It's really
Yeah,
good
very.
to look at.
For the bonus question.
Very appealing.
I love saying
What
Or
was
man.
my page? I actually don't know.
Hammer's back. Jake Hammer.
Oh, not Michael Campbell.
And fuck this guy. No, I'm kidding.
Your competition.
Maybe one day I'll say your name like I just did. Jake the Hammer. Jake wanted a question in the category of new
Nice jab,
releases.
Christian.
These are
You're watching
releases
this.
that are somewhat new, and your
Nice jab.
question to the field.
How dare he?
New releases.
2018 film.
My man.
Blake Lively and Ryan Gosling play husband and wife.
Don't ask me why. I just wrote down the.
Hammer's back. The Hammer.
It's a tie game here. If they all get it, it'll be tied, but Lon will have a chance.
Caleb, if
Do you know
you
this,
missed
Henry?
this- I don't think so.
5, 4, 3, 2.
It's like you forget and you just take a look behind.
Yeah,
You're like,
right.
you're just,
A simple favor.
It is Lon.
I also have a simple
Perfect
favor.
round for Lon. Whitney.
simple
way-
favor spelled correctly, by the way, with a U.
Serious
Right. By the way, shout out to Whitney. Shout out to Whitney and Bibiani. They were talking about a simple favor, and then they explained
Lost their lead, but Lon
Diabolique
has a
has a
chance to
reference
tie
in the
game
movie,
here.
and I ended up
If he
watching
hits
Diabolique.
this question,
Instant
Lon, you don't
favorite.
have to
So
write
shout out
this
to
down.
them.
This is
By the way, I
just
got
for
3
you.
points in round 1 because I'm
Here's your
amazing.
bonus question.
Lon's perfect, by the way.
Yes.
And just in every way. But,
Two actors who have played Rooster Cogburn.
John Wayne. Oh, shit.
And Jeff Bridges
and John
and John Wayne.
Yeah.
1 point. Tie
I'm
game
gonna give myself a point because I need the confidence.
here.
I'm at 4.
We get- wow, what a match this has been
I
so far, and we
wasn't
get
keeping
to
count.
round
I think I got
two,
6.
The wheel round.
Yet, because critically acclaimed likes to answer questions,
New
maybe they
slice.
get to go first, but that is all in the hands of the Harris brothers. You are the favorites. And
Do you think they'll go first? I think they'll go first, to be honest.
To your critical opponents.
I believe we'll spin
They
first.
usually do,
Yeah.
but
Please spin from the wheel.
Yeah.
Lon Harris. Yeah, I mean that's the.
So they want
This
classics.
was press your luck.
oh, it's coming to opponents.
Classics.
Classics.
They're gonna keep that.
I think.
They're going to keep it. All right, Aqua.
All right, so this is you,
I
Michael.
mean, they have to.
This is now, can they put their money
I'm gonna write
So am
my
I
answer.
writing this down?
No,
Same.
you yelled out loud, but I'll try and write my answers down as fast as possible to steal. AK, just get credit.
All right, well, here you go. Here we go.
I scored 4 points. I need all the credit I can get.
Classics. 6 questions. What 1940s drama starring Gregory Peck, Dorothy McGuire, John Garfield, and Celeste Holm concerns a journalist posing as a Jewish man to research an
I think it's the Hitchcock one.
In New York City.
Rebecca? No.
What's that called? It's
5,
we have
4.
oh, I got it.
Gentleman's agreement.
That's correct.
Oh wow.
Oh, shit. My bad.
Yeah, he didn't say it, so that's a.
What 1950s film starring Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, and Grace Kelly, was based on the play The Philadelphia Story.
By the way, Philadelphia Story.
Society?
For 1 point, it's correct.
My original answer was Holiday Inn because, you know, them coming together, maybe they're writing the paper.
That was 40s, I believe.
Really?
Female
Oh.
lead, alongside
Oh, yeah.
Bing Crosby and Bob Hope in
A lot of Bing
1942
Crosby
was
today.
The Road to Morocco.
Is that the second one?
Road to-
Was he in the first
Oh.
one? Or did I hear that from something else recently?
No, he won.
Rosemary Clooney.
That was
Correct.
a good guess.
The steal?
Dorothy Lamour.
Correct for 1 point.
Oh, good pull.
Hey.
Or guess. Whatever.
This is number 4.
Guess or pull. Whatever you want to.
I mean, no, the name Dorothy. 26.
By today's standards,
I
too
mean,
many.
the movie takes. I mean, I go multiple choice about them anyway because it's a number.
Nice.
Didn't need multiple choice for that one. The
Still haven't
26
seen,
the
still have not seen Gone with the Wind.
Number 5.
Not a big fan.
Here we go. Orson Welles plays which Shakespearean character in 1965's Chimes at Midnight?
Falstaff.
Correct for 2 points.
I mean, I'm not a Shakespearean guy,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I know, like Hamlet. Was it Orson that did Othello, right?
Nunes in 1961's
Yeah.
West Side Story.
Natalie
Yeah.
Wood.
Yeah. Damn it. I was trying to write down Natalie Wood. I mean, that's a star, so that's the only girl I know in the movie.
Well, it's a bit. Just Nunes makes me like.
Is it A,
Let's see, but it's just Natalie Wood.
Natalie Wood, C, Audrey Hepburn, D, Barbara Streisand?
It's one of those where it's
For
like,
1 point.
it's one of those where it's like, is it the star or is that another character? That's tough.
Well, the supporting actress,
Now they could have a great
sure, blanking on her name, is also. She was at the Oscars like a year or two ago.
And here we
She won the Oscar.
Those are some tough classics, though.
not an insurmountable lead.
I will say, for a category that doesn't get selected that often, that was tough.
And you can confer with
Yeah.
your teammate who also knows
I think
about
West Side Story and
movies,
Gone with the
so
Wind were the only
they
two
can
real
sing in
like
pretty good
major
position.
name
go.
films.
Bibiani,
So
also
2 out of
managing
6.
editor of the Schmodown website.
Yes.
Drama, 90s.
90s it is.
Then keep that.
You're gonna
I'll
go
probably keep it. I mean,
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
Let's see how I can do at 90s. Redeem myself.
The 1990s. You don't need to see it, you just need to hear it.
All right.
Critically acclaimed, your first question in the world of the 1990s.
Reading ahead to try and get ahead of them.
That includes Cineburst gum and Crystal Pepsi.
Ooh.
Your first of 6
Gonna have a
questions
Zima
is,
with that.
what comedic actor played sound engineer Gary Dixon in Anaconda?
Okay. I think I know this.
Comedic actor. Comedic actor.
Yeah, comedic actors
4,
doesn't really.
3.
I have a
That's
answer.
2
to it.
points.
I know he's in the movie.
Okay.
I have all of them.
Yeah, I didn't.
2 points.
Seen Anaconda once as a kid. Do not remember.
Once again, sticking in the world of the 90s. In the film Wayne's World, what song is Wayne denied from playing in
Stairway to Heaven.
No Stairway, D9?
My favorite band of all time. Led
Really?
Zeppelin.
Yeah. Still have not seen Wayne's World, so I'm open too.
That's my tattoo. That's my tattoo. Led
Really?
Zeppelin.
There you go.
Yeah.
Next up, who plays Amy March, the youngest of the March Girls in 1994's Little Women?
I think it's Winona Ryder.
Would you
Or,
want the younger or the older?
Younger.
well,
Kirsten Dunst and
there's.
Samantha Mathis.
I think Kirsten Dunst. Yeah.
Boom!
We're not pompous. We just want to play the game.
So, I know Kirsten Dunst plays the younger version. Was she in?
Yeah.
Is that the answer?
He got them
Looking
both
for?
right. Probably, I would assume,
94 Little
to be
Women
honest.
film that was based on the classic novel.
I mean, if one must watch the more recent version because one lacks the patience and dedication to look up the old one, sure.
The Katharine Hepburn one is better.
I prefer the late Chris Farley version on Saturday.
All right.
Fine.
And we move back into the world of the 90s. Your next question is, which 90s film is about 3 of the most popular girls at Reagan High accidentally killing the prom queen when a kidnapping goes horribly wrong?
Jawbreaker.
It is, in fact, Jawbreaker.
Jesus Christ.
It's nothing at all like Heather.
This is not my match.
They take the lead.
Totally different from Heather's.
Yeah.
Your penultimate question in round number
Actually,
2.
knew that question was being asked. That's why I missed. I was told that.
Who plays the wife of Michael Douglas's defense?
Ooh,
I still haven't seen it yet, so I don't know.
maybe Steenberg?
These are my questions, sir.
Multiple choice.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Is it A, Barbara
Gotta write
Hershey,
this down.
B, Tuesday Weld, C,
Yeah.
I'll say
Sharon
Hershey.
Stone, or D, Rachel Ticotin?
Barbara Hershey.
Give him a point.
Wow.
Hey, I got one right.
So we are now 2-point lead here.
I was thinking like one of those girls with dark hair. So I was like, Ashley Judd, Hershey, one of those girls with darker hair.
The world of the 90s.
She has dark
And
hair,
boy,
right?
What a 90s question this one is.
Yeah.
What real grunge band were members of Cliff's band
Oh, my
in the
goodness.
1992
I think this is my
Castro
question.
film single?
Oh, Jesus.
Why? Because it's Cameron Crowe.
They're still alive.
Yeah, I think this. Yeah, told you.
Oh my God, I did terrible today.
I
Good.
think that's that question. Yeah.
Hopefully, I bring in the noise with the analysis because this is rough playing wise.
4 points. A fantasy sci-fi. Fantasy sci-fi. Who would like
This
this?
is all you. If you want to
I'll
answer.
take this one.
All right, here you go.
Yeah.
All right. Category fantasy sci-fi. Who provides the voice of the monster in 2016's
Liam
Monster
Neeson.
Yep. They said his name earlier too. It was actually him who wrote it. It was Jonathan who wrote his name down. And wrong
Yeah.
one.
5
Vin Diesel.
for Liam Neeson.
That's not a terrible guess.
Liam Neeson. All right.
It is a tree. It is a tree.
It is. All right. So here's the next question here for the Harris brothers. The 3-pointer Lon will get here. They were going to have to hit their 3 and their 5 here. So here's the 3
Taking
in the
notes.
category of 9, which is
9?
Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie.
9.
9?
Here you go, Lon. In which film does Angelina Jolie play Colin Farrell's mother?
Oh,
Is it-
Alexander. Alexander.
Oh, all right.
My bad. That was your question, but I had to get
No,
it.
no, I went straight to anime, but yeah.
So if they do not hit,
Because I remember that be like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, it is. I know that you said that. I do remember that.
if they hit it, here we go. Harris brothers need to hit this. This is category 10. Category 10.
It's looking good for a critical acclaim regardless.
War
Yeah,
movie.
because they have to answer one.
You ready to go? You can confer on this one.
But I mean,
I think they're pretty.
Caleb's proven if you only need one, that's not in the bag.
2 of the other soldiers.
Yes.
The actors' names here.
Emil
Ben,
Hirsch,
ben Foster,
Taylor Kitsch.
Ben Foster, and Taylor Kitsch, and Emil Hirsch. Do you think they're thinking of the characters?
5,
Huh?
4.
We're gonna take a wild guess and say Wes Bentley and Ben Foster.
And your winner!
Wes Bentley not a bad guess.
That's not a bad guess because Emil Hirsch kind of looks like that.
Wow.
'Cause he slimmed down.
Another TKO. So 4-1.
With
four
4 KOs.
TKOs.
That is impressive.
Shades Christian Hall.
Monsters University.
On the field, they got Ben Foster. We would have accepted either Emil Hirsch or Taylor Kitsch. They went with Wes Bentley, not quite enough to force the hand of critically acclaimed. And they are back in the winner's circle again. And what a formidable team that they are going into the rest of this season.
So critically acclaimed.
It's one of those. Harris brothers did not go repeat the question, which is.
Clark, Wolf, and Rachel Cushing.
Yeah.
TKO, I
Do you think that's just them still being new to the game,
I do see a
or do you think?
I
Because they
think
got Ben
went
Foster
down
pretty easily. I'm pretty sure if they would have thought about it, they could have maybe got it.
I mean, honestly, I thought that might have been just a straight up guess.
Bibiani has the opportunity now to become
And they just got lucky with Ben Foster.
Maybe. You still got to go at least repeat the question once.
Singles championship.
The
Strategy
Yeah.
is, Harris brothers. If you're
At
watching,
least once.
at least repeat the question once.
Meanwhile, the Harris brothers
'Cause
will
you
be
kn-
listening to the song
Especially with a movie that
Yellow
came out within the
Leopard,
last
still referencing
5-6
Pearl
years.
Jam
You got to something could trigger.
Now we're going to talk to Emma Fife,
Yeah.
who's standing with both critically acclaimed and the Harris brothers.
What's up, Movie Trivia Schmodown fans? Your team lead commissioner, Emma Fife, here with the
Don't they
Harris
usually do the winners
brothers,
first?
Jonathan,
Are they switching that up?
Lon, you put up a good fight.
Yeah,
today,
they
I have to say.
usually do. I think they switched it at the end of last year.
Yeah.
People should be expected to know about.
Just on this, so this is going to be a good show.
Regardless, I think there may be a future for the Harris brothers, but regardless, I plan to come in very strong, return to the singles lead, my former glory in the singles lead, and specifically, I wish
Yeah,
to
you should.
challenge Mr. William
Round one.
Artemis
What? No
Cody
more Cody
to a
matches?
Singles one-on-one
Oh,
match
wow.
Following our showdown today.
I think
I would
that's a
love that.
fair challenge.
The gauntlet has been thrown, Mr. Bibiani.
That's gonna be.
I'm still alive.
I guess
Pearl
we're
Jam.
just opening up on critically acclaimed victory cheer song.
Yeah, we're pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, you had a very impressive.
Does this mean there'll be a Pearl Jam entrance next? I'll be very happy.
I mean, it would be pretty smart.
Like I was like, we didn't have. That's 4 knockouts for us. It's that like
4 TKOs.
Is that the number 1? I know the Patriots had a lot, but it's up there, right? It's pretty good.
It's up there.
You know,
Patriots didn't actually.
They only had 1 or 2.
It's still something to be.
But I think they had like 3 or 4.
Oh.
But like compared to like 9 wins,
Yeah.
which I guess makes sense when you're facing the best team.
Forget about you.
Every
Which
time.
Critically Acclaimed's doing now, so.
Who could forget this phase?
A lot of people can forget this face. We disappear as a team.
Poor Bibbs.
For months and months, and every time we come back, we come roaring back.
Whitney's low-key hilarious.
I'm looking forward to our next match, but with our luck, it'll be in 9 months, so who the hell knows? It's really, really
What are you,
cool
Nazario?
to
That's the
come
joke
forward
Nazario
this
says. I'm not going to play again for
start
2
off
years.
strong, and who knows what happens next.
Oh, that's
I
right.
mean, I know what happens next. You guys are now #1 contenders, so you're going to be going up against the Shire Wolves for the belt.
Be neat if we won, but let's be honest here. There's no shame in losing against the Shire Wolves, right?
We can hold our own.
Viviani's being humble. He's going to kick
it'll
their
be
ass.
fun.
And down at that moment, when the score is tied and we're holding the staff, we can just yell at that big fiery monster.
His Bibbs has, yeah. He's been. How did he? I can't remember how he did in the speed
Yells
round
at the Balrog.
when he in championship matches. Did
I
okay,
mean,
right?
he did in the first match versus Draco. I think Draco got all 5, answered all 5. He missed 2, I think, but versus Roku was fine.
Worthy competitors, and
Because that's the
I
Shire
think-
Wolves
I
strength.
think-
are definitely some of
I think
the
Bibbs
strongest
actually
players that the league
outdid
has ever
Roku
seen, and the two
in this
of them
year.
together are a force to be reckoned with, and I think that you guys are a force that'll be nice to see it going up against their force.
Whee! And I just want to see what we're gonna do for our intro. They're good. They got. Hey, I don't have an award.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe this is your opportunity.
That'd be nice.
I don't have an award.
Now, William Bibiani, I have
The
to
shade.
say, unless there is a William Arnott
I don't have an award.
Bibiani,
Said it's so
like
chill.
Aloysius
Pissed.
Arnott
Yeah.
Bibiani,
hotel.
you've been issued a challenge from one Professor Lon Harris.
May I borrow the mic for a second?
Uh-oh.
I have a message for Lon Spadoinkle Harris. Lon, yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll talk.
I will agree. Yeah.
Oh, well, that was a lukewarm
When was the last time Bibbs said growl growl?
Okay,
Oh, there it
taking
is.
it as a yes, for another. Well,
When was the last time Bibbs said
Growl, growl, and then he says it.
Whitney.
Perfect
is
timing, bud.
Critically acclaimed. I look forward to seeing you guys go up against the Shire Wolves.
Yeah.
No, which I haven't seen yet.
This
Uh-oh.
looks exactly like my Uncle Herman's grill. I don't know what it's doing over here, but this is definitely his grill. I could probably sell it on eBay for a couple $100.
Oh, it is.
At least I think. No, it wasn't your table, Bibbs. It wasn't your. How did you even get my number? How did you get my number? No, delete it. Delete it. I gotta call you back.
Uh-oh. Be quiet.
Well.
Mr. Finstock, Mr. Gucci. How are you, my friend? It's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too, man.
Gucci.
What's your deal?
Well, my deal is, I've been wanting you since day 1. I tried to recruit you when I was that idiot on Action, but right now, I want you, me, I want to take over the 2019 guy.
It'll be like a team match.
Gucci, baby. I can see the lights. I can see the billboards right now.
No, that rings. It looks like Dirk Diggler and neon.
Yeah, that's right.
Flashing lights.
I'm not your guy.
But I know who is.
I got 2 guys right. They're gonna beat 2 girls. I just don't need another guy.
Cute. That was real cute. I like that. That was good. I knew you were gonna do some stupid thing like that. So you know what? I got a little surprise for you too, guy. Gooch, guess what? Hey! Hey! Got a little friend here for you.
Let's see. This moron.
Oh, come
Really?
on now.
Wait.
This is your JTE trial way, bitch.
Bitch.
My client's on trial.
I don't know what to tell you. Oh, wait.
You got lighter fluid in there?
You know, no, I don't. Oh, wait.
It proves you burned my
Oh, please don't burn the wig.
Lighter fluid. What? I burned
Please
your
don't burn the
what?
wig.
mask.
What are you talking about?
You know what?
You know, people have been talking to me about, I don't know what you mean.
No, I know what it is. You burnt my mask. I saw it.
How would I have
I
burnt
saw
your
the
mask?
Smodow's protecting
How
the
would I-
right.
how
Look,
would I
boys.
burn your mask?
I mean, there is footage of it.
There is actual footage.
Of course I am.
Now they're getting meta.
He's in.
You should join
place.
Look, we can figure all this out later, but imagine what the three of us could do to this league. We could set this whole place on fire. Or
Literally.
it's like what Beavis used to
Yeah, he's fucking got a bucket full of.
Who let you out of that room we locked you in?
I don't know.
Is that within a wire or?
Hey, you're gonna drop this guy in 2 months.
Join us. Come on, join the dark side. Join the great.
Think they're going to reveal Guy's partner yet, or they're going to save that?
And the weaker half of Team Action.
I think they'll save it.
All we can do is dark. All we can do is win. We can just be better, right? Come on, dude. Maybe you'll get your face back. Hey!
Just fucking stole a wig around.
Let's set some shit on fire. Have I told you how much I enjoy that you burn everything to the ground? I love it. This year, we're going to be tackling people and be setting them on fire, my friend. It's going to be amazing.
All right, everybody. Now it is time for the analysis portion of this. Similar to like what I said earlier, make sure you've already seen the Schmodown match because obviously we just skimmed through the entire thing, so you didn't get to watch it in full. Make sure you're subscribed to the Movie Trivia Schmodown YouTube channel. If you're watching it on Thursday, make sure you're a Patreon, obviously, if you want to watch ahead times. So with that being said, it's time to analyze this entire match. I wouldn't say beat by beat, but from start to finish, the things that we want to highlight and things that we want to acknowledge first. So
Well, Henry, do you want to analyze this, and then I'll analyze that?
That is a good point. Bringing up Robert De Niro, who might get brought up again when we talk about round one. So something I want to talk about first is the blue logo. That was good, because I'm pretty sure it was blue at the end of last season, right? Because it was Teams was blue.
Yes.
Geek was green.
Well,
Red
it
was
weird because it was Anarchy with Corrupt. Like Corrupt, so it was like red and black-ish. But I think it was
before that it was
during
blue,
the
right
regular
before that,
season.
Yeah. Okay, so we brought the blue black, which is interesting because for all the previous seasons, usually it's a new color each season. So I'm kind of intrigued that they kept the same color. They acknowledge that they're in the new studio, which is awesome, and it looked pretty seamless. I don't know if they pretty much look at the exact same every time. That's really impressive because it's always
the only
looking
thing
like
is
the
that
Schmodown.
like the announcing desk, you can see there's a little bit more space than usual, but that's the only thing.
Yeah, but for the most part, when you think of the Schmodown studio, you think of the Schmodown. You don't think of what it's all surrounding.
Yeah.
So the thing I want to highlight the most is what we talked about in our reaction, which I'm pretty sure that made the cut. But the promo music, the promos, and the previously on the Schmodown, they edited that together, and that was fantastic editing. And like I just want to reiterate, like I said earlier, if you're watching this somehow and you are the editor, because I know it's a Wilhelm, RB3 Cops, right? I know a bunch of people edit. If you're the one who actually does that or came up with that idea, comment below and let us know, because that was fantastic, and I want to give credit where credit's due. I thought that was beautiful. It saved a lot of time. We actually started the actual trivia or the intros, 6 minutes in, which usually it's like 13 to 15 minutes. That saved 10 minutes just doing that, and that was fantastic. What were your overall thoughts on that?
I think that because one of the sort of people that people like to complain about, and I mean they're not exactly wrong, is that it takes a little long to get into it, and the previously on the Schmodown happens every time, and it is long, and some people like it, some people don't. And this, I mean, no one should really complain about this because this was just perfect. It was seamless. The way the editing, the blocks came down, the way they intercut matches, and they showed TKO's records to let you know how many TKOs they had. I mean, it was just seamless. It was really great.
And for the most part, I don't know if it was the entire thing, but I think for the most part, they voiced over the actual promos over it too. So it was just like you said, edited seamlessly, and it was beautiful. And unfortunately, we talked over most of it because we were just in awe of the fact of how awesome this was. But so we didn't really catch most of the words they were saying. But we already knew it was just going to be silly. We like French elitist films, and critical acclaim you guys stink, and it's going to be a good game, and we might do better or not, and you know how they are. So but the point was the editing. That was fantastic. So what they started, I think it was just in the Spectacular 3 was the first time they did it. The notable accomplishments, right? That was the
Yes, I think. Yes,
that was the first time they did it, or around that time. So one of the
it was either the end of the tournament / Spectacular.
Yeah, I know it's one of the two, but I really like that, and it's really something that's grown on me, and it makes a lot of sense.
I like it better than Tail of the Tape, to be honest.
And similar to what we said previously on Schmodown, you're really recapping all that stuff, so you're saving so much time covering everything that you need to cover. Plus, it still has the green screen where they're doing all their things, and it still shows their highlights and everything that you need. So that's really awesome. The thing that I thought was really interesting, and I'm pretty sure we both assumed that Critically Acclaimed was going to be the higher ranked in this one, but unfortunately, when we heard the musics, Critically Acclaimed came out first, and that was very intriguing to me because they're both 3-1, but Critically Acclaimed with the 3 TKOs. And I was just like, oh, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Harris brothers, they had a KO on their record, but 1 versus 3, regardless of how far along the play was, I still feel like in general, Critically Acclaimed should have been higher ranked. Obviously, we're going to get into it later. It didn't matter, but it's just something that I was pretty surprised about. So let's talk about these entrances. Bibiani is the man at entrances. Honestly, maybe it could have been one of those situations where Bibiani's entrance was the result of them going first, so it had nothing to do with rank because they're the number one contender match.
Requested it.
Yeah. So honestly, maybe we're talking out of our ass. Bibiani, if you're watching this, let us know below if you decided to go first to let us know that fantastic entrance. I didn't catch it at first, but you caught it pretty much right away that it was Monsters Inc. And I thought that was amazing. Cause shout out to Late to the Party though, by the way, because and Screen Junkies movie fights.
Yeah,
that was fantastic. That's a great crossover right there. That was a great crossover. I mean. Spoiler alert for the live event, Dan's champion again, so we definitely have to bring together what you're doing with movie fights, Screen Junkies, and the movie Trivia Schmodown. So I thought everything that they did was fantastic. The editing was great, the CG, the green screen, all that stuff. They did a really good job, and fantastic. Right off the bat, Bibiani, entrance of the year. You can already mark that on the ballot. If that doesn't win, which, unfortunately with Bibiani's luck, it might not, but you definitely have to guarantee that's going to be on the list. And I really think of, we talked about it. An underrated entrance was Harris Brothers with the 7th seal. We caught it right away, but Bibiani trying to throw the shade, talking about that's just is a pretty lame one. But it's like, if you really think about it, that's a deep cut intro because we understood that it was the 7th seal right away. I mean, I thought it was Jigsaw for a second with the robe. I thought he was like trolling them.
That makes sense though. Yeah.
But then once Jonathan came out, I knew, instantly 7th seal. I was like, that's fantastic. That's hilarious. Yeah. We were very curious on what that game was though. And Ellis talked about it later. What did he say? Categories?
I think it's categories.
So that was funny. I mean, whatever. It's the point. It was a game. It would have been nice. I guess it's because if you carry a chess board, all the pieces will fall. So you had to just pick the closest game, the easiest to carry. But I really think this was a great start to the season for the entrances, and I'm pretty sure the Harris Brothers entrance will get forgotten in the future. But it's going to be one of those where it's like, dude, that's a pretty underrated entrance.
Yeah.
So.
And I was going to say, just another note on the Monsters Inc. entrance is like, it's so like brilliant and smart, and it's weird. I was like, it's taken this long to do. Like, no one's ever thought of it before.
Yeah.
And it makes complete sense. Like going into a door, coming out of a curtain for the Schmodown. It's like it's simple and it works. And it took this long to get it. And I'm glad Critically Acclaimed were the ones to do it and did it right.
Exactly. I was like, what are they doing with the white screen? Like, what are they doing? And then it got right into it. You go into Thad's office, and then it just goes down the rabbit hole of all the different rooms, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna jump into round 1. Is there any notable questions or misses that you want to bring up first? Because we don't have to go question by question. We just need to talk about anything because
not exactly notable question. It was a number 1 contest match, so the questions were upped a little bit more than usual.
Definitely were. It was one of those where me playing along, you saw how I struggled. It didn't click that it was a number 1 contender match. I was like, wow, first match of the season. This is rough. Yeah. But then it clicked. I was like, oh, it's a number 1 contenders match. So I struggled, but they did really well.
It definitely saw like Bibbs and Lon shine.
Go
Whitney had a bit of an under par round 1 to his usual round 1 team.
But if you think about it though, as we're going to realize, it was 12-12 after that, and that's including Lon's perfect round, and that's including Lon going 9 versus Jonathan's 3. So that's their 12. Yeah. If you think about it, Bibiani, say he got 7 even. That's 7 and 5. So that's pretty balanced. So that's still a great round 1 as a team for Critically Acclaimed. So I think that they're on par for a team who hasn't competed together in 8 months, 6 months, however long it's been. That is fantastic. So, if Lon didn't step it up, then that definitely would have been a rough start for them. So I think other than the fact that the difficulty was up, the ante was upped, I think that there was really no specific question thing we could bring up, but I think there's a funny situation from a player perspective that we can bring up. You want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah, so Bibbs did one of the first times someone's ever done this, and tried to throw the other players off if they were maybe they're maybe 50-50 on an answer. So why not just highlight this in their head and maybe get them to change it? The answer was Rio, which is 3 letters, pretty simple. But instead he goes, it's a long title, and it's just scribbling. I think maybe in the O, inside the O, just scribbling, and it didn't work. But it's something to watch out for. Maybe don't trust Bibiani in the future,
or just in general, any players. Yeah, especially that would have been a perfect one too if you had somebody like repeat the question, and then you got Bibiani like change his like pretend to erase his answer and then write again. So that's one of those where that's an interesting strategy, and you can really get in people's heads. And it's a dirty move, don't get me wrong, but you do what you got to do, especially what do they say? Nice guys finish last. So like we said, at the end of round 1, it's 12-12, and that includes Lon's perfect round. So critically acclaimed, more balanced, Lon more powerful coming out of round 1. And I called it, and I'm pretty sure it's something that they've been doing. The Harris brothers decided to go first, and they spin the wheel and they land on classics. Were you surprised that they stuck with that, or is that one of those where you're like, yeah, no doubt?
Not surprised, but if I was being honest, I'd probably say it probably wouldn't even be like their top 2 or 3 maybe preferred wheel slices, but because of their character persona, they were sort of like forced to take it. I think if they maybe got directors, they would want that, maybe like a 90s or
Dramas.
a specific actor or director. Yeah, but because classics, it's so broad. It's literally like 1900 to like 1969.
Yeah, or even 79, depending on who's the writer. Like it could be anything. It could be anywhere from 50 to 80 years. Yeah,
87.
That could be crazy stuff.
So I think if they spun Spinner's Choice, I don't think classics would have been even in their mind. But like I said, because of their character and persona, spinning away from classics is tough. It's tough to do and then continue on with their persona. And they got 8 points, which is a good round. But if you're in a normal contenders match, you need to be getting double digits in round 2. So, as we'll talk about, the questions were interesting. There were like 2 Bing Crosby.
Yeah, when we were playing, I was like, didn't they just ask a Bing Crosby question? I was like, wow. So 2 musicals, like I said, there's only 2 notable, really, if you think about it, movies: Gone with the Wind and West Side Story, and the other 4, were like, woof. Those are rough. So I mean, out of all the classics you can ask, I'm one to speak personally. Out of all the classics you could ask, those are the ones you go with, and it's one of those situations where, in retrospect, I think the Harris brothers might have considered it. Now, I'm going to bring this up again later when we talk about round 3, but is this another situation where you think the Harris brothers are just new to the game still, and they just are still developing strategy, and this is one of those situations where they let the character get in their head and also the lack of experience?
Maybe, because there was a question where West Side Story where the answer was Natalie Wood, and they clearly knew it. It was on the tip of their tongue. As soon as they heard it, they knew it straight away. So maybe in that situation, that's where you take a repeat and just sort of talk amongst yourselves and be like,
do you think that they forget that they have repeats, or do you think that they're just like, who cares, and let's just go with the flow and go through it?
Maybe, because they used one in round 1, but I mean,
it's one of those.
Just clearly one of those where they don't use it there. It's not in their mindset. But yeah, I think they should, because just use it. Why not?
Yeah.
Who cares?
And critical acclaim got 1 steal. Am I correct?
For 1 point.
Yeah.
The road to Morocco.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, so after their round, like you said, they got 20 points, and then it's going on to critical acclaim, and then they spin 90s on the first spin, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and are you? They stuck with it. Were you surprised with that, or is it one of those situations where you think that based on the wheel they didn't have anything else, or you think that they were just confident in their flow and they're like, good enough?
I think they were pretty confident, because that's when like, I might have my ages wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's when they grew up.
Yeah.
And got really into
Bibiani's like 34, 35 years old, so it's like perfect timing for him.
We'll say 27 to be nice. No, I think just they knew it, and the way the character's been spun, the movies they get asked about are usually pretty famous, and and between the both of them, I would be confident.
Yeah.
And I was not shocked when they took it.
Yeah. So when we played along, similar to what we said earlier, you can definitely tell that these were number 1 contender questions, because a lot of these movies were just deeper cut movies. Even if you've seen the movie, they probably weren't that hard, but the movie choices were a little tougher than usual when you think of a 90s category. I mean, I think the most well-known movie was Clueless out of the 6 that were asked, probably.
think so.
Clueless and
Kind of
Anaconda were the two ones where, like, you know, regardless of what you think of the movie,
and even then it was just
you know the name
which
at least. So,
actor.
yeah, that's tough. So that's rough. But they did a fantastic job. They got 24. They got 14 points, or they got 12 points.
They got 12 points overall.
Or
They got 11
points.
in their
Yeah,
round.
yep. They got
They
11
only had
points.
to go one multiple choice
that's
once,
what you said earlier about Harris Brothers. It's a number one contender match. Round 2, you got to get in the double digits, and they did that.
Yeah.
So going into round 3, it's 20-24, and you do the numbers, and it's one of those situations where Bibiani has the history of the bad round 3s. They haven't played in a while. Going into round 3, did you have any fear that they were going to crumble and the Harris Brothers could come back, or is this one of those situations where you're like, as long as everything goes normal, Critical Acclaim is going to be fine?
Well, like round 3 is just an absolute shit show. You could just get 3 straight awful categories, or you could get 3 straight great categories. So if I was the player, I'd be terrified of going around 3 because it's literally just random. You have no control. You get the category and you have to answer the question with no help. So yeah, like if it's only 4 points, that's 2 questions for the Harris Brothers. If Critically Acclaimed misses just one, then
could be the game.
Harris Brothers are right back into it. Yeah. But after they missed their 2-point Harris Brothers, I thought that kind of maybe sealed it because it would have been.
Do you think Lon would have gotten that question right if he would have gone? Because it was who voices the monster in Monster's Call?
I think so. I haven't watched it back, but I think judging from his reaction, I think he knew it.
And so is that one of those where Jonathan wasn't playing as well, so Lon was just like, you take the question and we'll just go from there?
Yeah, I think they've decided that John might take unless it's just an absolute awful category for John. I think John might take the 2-pointer. And I mean, fantasy sci-fi, it's a usually
pretty broad,
easy, broad question. And
it technically was, if you think about it. Yeah, he just didn't know the answer. And I mean, to his credit, it wasn't a terrible guess. You know, Vin Diesel does voice a tree in Groot, but we were looking for Liam Neeson. So then we go over to Lon's 3-pointer, and that was...
It was Alexander. Angelina Jolie plays Colin Farrell's mother.
I knew that right away because it's one of those goofy ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know it, it's like, yep, that's weird. I remember it. It sticks in your mind. But if you don't know it, that's who knows? And what do you say, Winner's Tale?
You just assume it's like an animated one where an age doesn't factor into it, and like it's just purely voice. But yeah, that's a good question because it requires something.
Lon guessed Winner's Tale. Am I correct?
Yeah, which has Colin Farrell in it, but not Angelina Jolie. Obviously.
So now they're down 4 points. They have to hit their 5. And
this is when I was pretty sure that it's going to be over, no matter what.
And like we said, we like the odds for Critical Acclaim. Even if they get it, they only got to get one question right. So here's my interesting point. They get the question, Mark Wahlberg, and name at least 2 other of the pretty much main characters that are in the movie with him and Lone Survivor. They answered, I wouldn't say right away, but they definitely answered. Yeah. They figured they threw out an answer, and they didn't use a repeat. They had not only did they have a repeat, they had 2 repeats. This is what I wanted to bring up earlier, like we would touch on earlier. Do you think that their lack of experience and gameplay and strategy comes into play, or do you think it was just one of those where they just didn't have the confidence? They're like, no matter what, we're not going to get it. Let's just throw out an answer and hope for the best.
Yeah, I think with that question, that's where the lack of experience came into play. Because if you're ever going to just burn all your repeats, just do it on the 5-pointer, even if you have no clue.
They don't roll over.
Just do it, and I don't know if it was a guess or they knew,
got Ben Foster, so it's like at that point you got
which is 50. That's half the job.
Yeah,
and,
you only need one more.
West Bentley isn't a terrible guess, but like maybe if you use a repeat, you think of actors that look like.
But with that being said, it's just one of those where it's like, man, that's a bummer for them. It kind of ended on a dour note, but Critically Acclaimed now 4-1, 4 TKOs, number 1 contender slot, number 1 contender spot, and they're slot. So Critically Acclaimed, they're going to be facing the Shire Wolves, and it's one of those situations in their post-match interviews. It's a combination of Bibiani just being his passive-aggressive self, but also just like being funny. And he's talking about something. He's like, we'll show up and we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll win, maybe we'll not. But they're great. Everything. It's one of those. I kind of feel like this new Bibiani character. He's not trying to be cocky and play a character as far as like personality as a competitor. He's just trying to be his own person, a kind of an exemplified self of William Bibiani, but not as a competitor. And I feel like that's really, the passive aggressive side. And I find that hilarious because like in theory, like there's a legit chance that Critical Acclaim could TKO Shire Wolves, like in reality. Yeah. So the fact that he's like, maybe we'll show up and we'll have a decent game. It's like, I find that really funny. And I really think that, Shire Wolves better not take Critically Acclaimed lightly because you never know what could happen. That's going to be a fantastic
Well,
match.
I think that's part of like Bibiani's like secret sort of plan is to lull you into a false sense of confidence. Be like, oh, it'll be fun. I hope I get a point right. You're gonna kick my ass, and then he comes out and just carries you because he's William Bibiani. That's
that makes me laugh because when we were doing the post-match interviews, when I was talking, I was like, has he said growl, growl, growl? And then as soon as I say growl, growl, he says growl, growl. I'm like, oh, there it is. So I don't know if that was the first time he said that in a while, or if it just hasn't been as over the top as it was before. But that you can just tell it's a new Bibiani, still standing, which we didn't bring up earlier. He's still standing, which is fantastic. He's that run that he's doing with the standing is just beautiful. Yeah. So one final thing that I want to talk about. I didn't realize that Emma Fyfe wasn't still going to be the manager of Shirewolves. So I'm curious if that's going to affect them, or you think at the point where they're already rolling and they're already, as their own persons and they're going to be fine, or do you think that could affect their, performance going into the championship?
It will be interesting to see because obviously they've now defended at least once the Shirewolves, at least once with the belt. So they sort of have an idea of what to do and what the preparation is like. But it will be interesting to see like how they talk, what they say about it, if it makes any impact at all. I will be watching very closely to see if, and make my picks if they ever mention that they miss her, that didn't prepare as well without Emma. It'll be something to watch and take note of.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, the only advantage I truly believe that the Shirewolves on paper have over Critical Game is the speed round with the buzzers, because just how great that they are at that. But just beat for beat trivia knowledge, it's hard to go against.
Four of the most knowledgeable.
Yeah, but I just have to have the edge to Critical Game and just give them all the credit. And I'm going to be going in root for them, and I wouldn't be surprised TKO, and I wouldn't be surprised if it went to the 5-pointer or potentially sudden death. So it's one of those matches I'm looking forward to. This was a great way to kick off season 6. And obviously, if you made it this far into the video, hopefully the show is as short as planned, in the 30-minute range or less than. That's the goal. So I
think we're allowed to first. I think we're allowed to go a little bit over.
A little bit longer.
Because there's
definitely no more than 45. Definitely no more than 45. Because unedited right now we're an hour 22, and that's including the entire 46-minute match. So that's going to be cut down to like 10 minutes. It seems like. So I'm pretty sure we'll be fine. Yeah. So this is going to be great. So as you guys know, or as you're learning at this point, I'm Henry Confidential. This is Confidential Cinema. I'm hoping that I can come up with a nice name. That I have an idea for a name, but I'm hoping that this show catches on and you guys like it as much as we liked doing it for you guys. And I hope you guys like the style of doing the reactions and then the analysis afterwards. Let us know in the comments below if you guys have any suggestions for what type of stuff you want us to cover. I feel like we covered everything, but let us know if you want us to go in more in depth in any specific questions in round 1, 2, or 3. Which I think in round 3 we did all 3 questions because it was a shorter one. But let us know if you guys want us to go in more depth with anything, if you guys want us to talk about the intros or the promos or any of that stuff more, or anything that was said on the desk, any of that stuff. Let us know in the comments below anything that you want us to cover, because this show's for you guys. If we're reacting, it's for you guys watching, and because we're going to be watching these Schmoedown matches no matter what, so we're doing the reactions to kind of give you guys some insights, some personality, and have some fun with this. Michael, did you have fun doing this, and you excited for future shows to come?
I was just saying, if we're talking over the promos or something you don't want us to, just let us know. We'll make note of that next time. It's just this time there was the whole new way they did it. So like you mentioned before, we did sort of talk over it. So I apologize to Harris Brothers and Critically Acclaimed for that.
I mean, even the cutscene a little bit. You were talking, and I wanted to go shh, but I didn't want to embarrass you. But since you brought it up, I feel like it's in the air now. So it's one of those situations you live and learn. So if there's anything that you guys didn't like that we did, obviously if you're this far into the video, we've earned the right to ask for your opinions. So let us know in the comments below, and let us know if you want to comment, how badly I did in all my question answerings, let me know. Michael did fine, so give him some credit. Shout out to him, half a big picture, and shout out to his partner in the fan leagues, Paul Oyama. If you guys are going to learn who Paul Oyama is, this is Michael Campbell, his other half. They're a beautiful pair. Paul's going to do great by himself, but he's also a fantastic partner with Michael Campbell. So he is Michael Campbell. I am Henry Confidential. This is Confidential Cinema, and hopefully I can reveal the name in the upcoming future. Thanks, guys. See you soon, and make sure you subscribe to the Schmoedown. Make sure you become a Patreon, and let's get ready to Schmoedown.
Peace.